Hey, good morning.
Um, I want to start just with a question. I would like you to imagine a world without engineering. How it would be. We wouldn't have cell phones, no tablets, no computers. We wouldn't have rockets, no bionics, no renewable energy, no trains, no cars, in general, no transportation, um, no buildings, no cities, no roads, no dams, no running water, of course, no houses, no bikes, no pools. We wouldn't have roads, no tunnels, of course, no bridges, no channels. In engineering, we use technology. So without engineering, we wouldn't have technology. We use math and science for shaping our society, yeah, for influence our society, for making our society a better place to live. In my field, in mechanical engineering, we deal with energy and loads and how bodies, things, behave with both energy and load. So, in particular, we deal with designing, testing, and innovating machines, structures, and processes, as Iñaki told us before. But let's go back, or let's go to a better, a local environment. I would like you to imagine what would the Basque Country be without ironwork and blacksmiths? What would be without farms, without farmhouses, without ships and boats, without cinema? We wouldn't have the Basque Country as we know it. We wouldn't have chuleta, no? We wouldn't have cider. We wouldn't have sagardoa. And I want you to think about sagardoa, sagarra, and how the relationship with this fruit is from our basis. How this fruit, I brought one, how would be the relationship, our relationship with this tiny fruit? As Dr. Deva said, with orange or whatever. How would, how do we relate with this fruit? And we have a basic root related with apples. I'm going to show you. From Adam and Eve and the judgment of Paris, imagine the evil queen offering a poisoned apple to Snow White. We have this in our guts. We have this relationship with apples. But let's go back to engineering. Do you remember Isaac Newton and the myth that he was sitting down a tree thinking, and suddenly an apple fell on his head? And he thought about the universal law of gravitation. It's just a legend, it's not a real one, but the place of Isaac Newton in the halls of fame of gravity, it's not because of his discovery of gravitation, but about his statement that gravitation is a universal thing. Okay? So let me show you an example. When we deal with gravitational forces, we normally take two bodies. The masses of those two bodies is related with the attraction between those two. So it depends on the masses of the two bodies and the distance of the centers of those. So gravitational is a universal thing. It's related to you, to me, to this building, to that tree. Everything is related with gravitational forces. If it has mass, there's gravitational forces, okay? So let's see the seeds. Those seeds are pulled down to the center of the earth and they are subject to gravitational forces. So what would Isaac Newton be without apples? What would gravitational forces without Newton? And what would this astronaut be without gravity? As I told you, this is universal. So let's go back to engineering, okay? We are coping with gravitational forces since we were just walking and climbing on the trees, okay? And we know how gravity is acting on the bodies. And for example, how loads are acting on the bodies. And let's go back again to mechanical engineering. In mechanical engineering, we deal with the forces that act on the bodies, as I told you before. So, for example, how things break. This is mechanical engineering. This is real, okay? And that kind of, that area of engineering is the one that I study. I study plant biomechanics. The guys and the gals that study plant biomechanics, we deal with how trees and plants behave as a structure, behave as a mechanical performance ideal. And we study from an engineering perspective. Have you seen how plant trees withstand like hurricanes and they shake and they dance, they twist, they bend, but they always stand standing. They always weather the storm. And this is a mechanical engineering problem. In our last paper from my colleagues from the Public University of Navarra, we studied how palm trees vibrate under wind loads and how they withstand those high loading circumstances. Okay? So I want you to invite you to practice at home plant biomechanics. But first, I want to ask you another question. How do you peel a banana? How do you peel a banana? How do you? Normally you take this and you pull down everything. So I want to show you a new way for peeling a banana, okay? So this is the way. The way that we, the engineers that study plant biomechanics like. So you have to take the banana, you have to take the banana and try to strengthen it. Oh no, it didn't work. I'm sorry. This is, anyway, it should open like this, okay? When I try to strengthen, it should open like this because the circumferential stresses exceed the strength in the transverse direction of the banana peel. So it opens like this, okay? So now that you know what plant biomechanics is, I want you to practice plant biomechanics at home, okay? As you realized, I am truly passionate about learning and teaching engineering, and I'm an absolute believer on the power of higher education for shaping our society and our future. So I invite you to give a try to engineering, okay? And study an engineering career. Thank you for your attention.